The Federal Ministry, or the Federal Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, has blamed the rising cost in the price of tomato to an infestation also known as Tomato Ebola. And he spoke about this recently, and this we have seen has trickled down to, affecting the rise in the price of tomato across the nation. As I speak, tomato is surged by over 130% in certain areas across the nation. And we did put out a poll on social media asking Nigerians how much the commodity is going for in their vicinities or in their areas. And let's look at what we asked social media users. The question said, share your thoughts and how's the tomato situation in your area. Prices have been soaring lately due to scarcity, and share with us how much are you paying for tomatoes in your region. Let's compare prices, let's compare rates across the nation, and let us discuss. And we trust Nigerians who came out, in en masse to give us responses on social media. But let's take a look at some of the comments that we did get from netizens on social media. Sunusi Makafi said 30,000, that's 30K per one crate in Kaduna State. 30,000 naira right now going for a crate of tomatoes in Kaduna State. But let's move away from Kaduna now. Falmata Mustafa is saying that 6 pieces are 200 naira here in Maiduguri. That is quite cheap, compared to the other responses we did get across the nation. 6 pieces for 200 naira, if I do say so myself, is quite cheap. But let's move away from that now. Ikechukwu Okoro is saying that we use red oil. It's been long. I went for tomato, especially fresh tomatoes. We've seen people go for other alternatives away from the fresh commodity, going for red oil rather than fresh tomatoes. Interesting comments coming there from Ikechukwu, but let's look at other comments. Umaru Apawu is saying that tomatoes not for poor man now in Abuja, and a model of dry tomatoes that I used to buy at 600 naira before, it's been sold for 1,500 naira at Kwali Area Council Market, and the price of tomato has gone abyssal levels. He's saying that he used to buy a crate at 600 naira previously in Kwali Area Council of Abuja, but now it goes for 1,500 naira. But moving away from Umaru's comment now, Jalala is saying, terrible. Campus folks have had to switch to tomato paste. Again, talking about substituting fresh tomatoes for other options. And she's saying that campus folks are now buying a sachet tomatoes in the place of fresh tomatoes. But moving away from that now, Clement is saying 5 fruits of tomato is 500 naira. Okay, that shows a contrast with the other amounts we have seen so far come from Abuja, Maiduguri, and some other areas. But moving away from Clement's comments, Suna is saying that to see tomatoes here now by connection. Well, interesting comments there coming from Suna, talking about knowing people that know people that know people in order to purchase tomato. Interesting comment right there. I believe those, Jalala is saying 500 naira for 5 to 6 small or medium pieces, 5 to 6 going for 500 naira. But I would wish you, told us your location so we can juxtapose the price in your location with other locations. So while you're sending your comments, do well to add your location and where you are, replying us from. But Abdullahi Usman is saying a basket of 8K now goes for 30,000, and their chairman said it's only Kebbi State that is producing for the nation. Interesting, and thank you for the update right there. And Omo Akin Sunday is saying, we have been eating vegetables for the past 2 weeks now with my family and no need for tomatoes. Can't remember when last we cooked stew. Again, talking about substitution from Nigerians, going for other options such as using other vegetables or substituting tomato with palm oil or sachet tomato paste. But right now we will move on to our conversation proper on the infestation of fresh tomatoes across the nation, which has impacted on the rising price of the plant or the vegetable, I should call it, across the nation. And we did hear from the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, who has blamed the rising cost of tomato products across the country on an infestation of tomato farms, which is known as Tomato Ebola. And my guest is an Agric Analyst, Abiodun Olaniyi, is now joining me on the program. Thank you very much for joining us on Business Daily. We seem to have, some technical challenges there. But while we try to address that, let's go on a short break. When we come back, the conversation proper will commence. To stay. watching Business Daily on Trust TV. And just before the break, we had started a conversation on the rising price of tomato across the country. And according to, research, right now, the price of tomato has surged by over 113% across the nation. And having gone through the social media polls, we have seen Nigerians start to substitute tomato for other vegetables. And yesterday, we did hear from the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security in the person of Abubakar Kyari, where he has blamed the rising cost of tomato products across the nation on an infestation of tomato farms, also known as Tomato Ebola. I'm now joined by my guest, who is an Agric Analyst, Abiodun Olaniyi. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on Business Daily today.
Thanks for having me.
Let us start off with this Tomato Ebola of an infestation. I mean, we understand that we have had this happen in the past, in the year 2016. However, we have seen this, reoccur recently. What does this even mean, and where did it even come from? Let's start with, understanding where it even would come from in cases like what we have seen recently.
Well, I think this issue that I will take it to more of an intelligence. We have this part, this issue happening from this scale. And I think the people have some solutions to this. I mean, how this issue will not reoccur again. And I think we don't have it year in, year out. And so this kind of case is supposed to be on our guide. And now it's like this is living with us now. That should be total eradication now. And I mean, for over going to 8 years now, we have been battling with the issue. So now I think that should be a one and for all solution to it. And I think where we are now, because the issue now is really evolving us the eye. And it's so sad. We talk about the food security. And tomato plays a very important role in the vegetable demand, for each family and around Nigeria.
But talking about the tomato Ebola infestation, one thing that most Nigerians are curious about is, why is it so difficult to control, and what makes it, such a devastating pest, to the extent at which it affects crops in their numbers across the nation?
Well, I think it has to do more to our agronomic practice, and also with our pre-harvest practices. So there should be more in-depth knowledge, analysis, research in our various institutes. And I think this calls for the Nigerian Horticultural Institute in Ibadan and all our associated institutes. They have to put up their taking cap. So looking at what's happening globally, we should be able to develop an indigenous solution to this. And that's, this point out back to our research institute. They need to do more research. This will go on apart from the plant protection. Even talking about the post-harvest practices, these are also things that we should put into consideration. So I think this goes back to our researchers. They should be able to come up with a new solution on how to control this.
You've talked about, the need for more research, especially in the area of, infestation on crops across the nation, and particularly with regards to the tomato Ebola. But I will want to hear from you as someone who has, been involved in, especially in the area of stored produce in the past. Has there been any, technological advancement or development so far in the area of ensuring that we don't have such occurrences repeat itself over and over again?
Well, I think for now, there was some research done by the NIOD, maybe in the past. That was after the 2016 incident that happened, But keeping at least coming up with the outcome and then passing information, I think it has been very low. Farmers to cooperatives, because some of the different species of tomato coming up, to be able to transport to resist all these pests. But I think for our local, our indigenous approach is highly needed at this time, because looking at our climate here, because of the majority of the tomato producing areas are in certain parts of the country, unless we have the 6 major ones as of now. But why in other parts of the country that is being grown, because there are also reported cases. So it tells me that this issue, they needed to have an holistic approach. So I think now have not, with their findings, they have not been able to properly disseminate, the information, to all the stakeholders. That's my own perspective.
Bringing it to, having immediate and short-term solutions, are there any roles that farmers or smallholder farmers can play, in the area of combating this infestation so it doesn't spread more than it has already spread?
Well, I think the role that the farmers will, they need as of now, information among their members, because people don't even know that it's Ebola. They just found out that, what is coming up in their farm. And I think the extension workers will need to do more, because these are closest officials to farmers all over the nation. And I think the ADPs have to be on their best now, because this information is what needs to be going on around farmers. Because with small farmers there, they are not able to, because talking about the species of tomato that they need to plant, and also the agronomic practices that we needed to be ensured, and also the pre-harvest practices too. It plays a very, very important role before talking even about the post-harvest practices or the practices at the public. So I think the farmers needed to be equipped with more knowledge now, and also not to even control at this time, because for some of these pests, what are the chemicals, what are the inputs that are that are being used, or the ones available? Are they being used properly? These are very, very germane steps that needed to be taken, and also to be taken at the appropriate time. So information is for more information for the farmers, and as of now, all the farmers just stay put, and I think that the situation will be under control as soon as possible.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security has come out to say that he is indeed aware of what's happening. And the question now is, what can be done in the area of, policy direction and policy recommendation to ensuring that Nigeria's food security system is resilient now and resilient also in the future, and we don't have, cases like this occur or repeatedly occur in years to come. So what would be your advice, especially now in the area of food security and policy recommendation around ensuring that such cases like this are not repeated in the nearest future?
Well, my own information, because I'm surprised if the minister said he's not aware, without talking about the necessity of our surveillance system, because there are some, reporting that we have in different research institutes. We have the IART at Ibadan, and the IAR at Zaria. There was a time you have these numbers, posted there that a piece of reporting in terms of from farmers, and also to the Ministry of Agriculture. And you have all the scientists under the agriculture, especially the ones that have the mandate. There should be a form of synergy, because where you don't have a in terms of competition of information, there you have all this kind of issue. There should be a surveillance system that will report even the quarantine agency. They have also the role to play. This comes to vis-a-vis the seed, where the seed gets to the country, the various tomato seeds that gets to the country, the ones that were breeded locally here. All these things there should be, because from the point of planting, the kind of pest that was being employed during the planting section, the agronomic practice, the pre-harvest practices, and also coming to the farm gate and the post-harvest practices, there should be a synergy of information that should be collected every planting season. This talks about more, because talking about these outbreak, it doesn't just start today. But these are issues that are, that are really showing their ugly head, but nobody's taking notes. So our attitude in this country, so when things happen, that we start having this cry call, and also, everybody, crying for about. I can tell you that this issue has already shown its ugly head earlier, but nobody's taking notes. We should be more preventive, not talking about currency state that we are talking about now. We should be more preventive. And I think you honestly go back to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and all the associated agencies underneath, that they should all have that synergy to go back to the table. We should be enough of all this curative approach. It should be more preventive approach that we should be, working on time in, time out. So, and I think that is my own solution about this. Because without this, you cannot ensure any form of food security. Now look at the prices of tomato now. We don't need all this. Aside from the production, the post-harvest aspect needed to be taken seriously. That should be at all the forms of vegetables and their fruits. There should be abundance of supply year in, year out. Going to our irrigation system, what water system we use for all these production. So it's all got across all the players. Everybody is a blame around it. So that's my observation.
You have emphasized the need for the act of being proactive, but you also did touch on having some form of synergy. But when I did hear you mention synergy, the question that crossed my mind is, what exactly are you speaking about? What kind of synergy, and amongst what players or what stakeholders are you, recommending?
Yes, like I said, for issue of agriculture and food security in this country, it is, vested with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. And under the ministry, you have all agencies, that have the mandate for different kinds of different crops. For fruit and vegetable, for fruit and vegetable, you have it with NIOT, and then for cereals and grain with the NCRI. All these agencies have the focus on the mandates for various crops. So, and for the crop inflation here, it's about talking about NIOT, the Horticultural Institute based in Ibadan, and there are stations in different parts of the country. So the other still goes for them to be able to rise up to the occasion. It's so disappointing that we are having this repeat, and also the quarantine agency. There should be a synergy, and there is no information, among all these agencies. And like what you said earlier, it's not surprising for the minister to be saying that he's not aware of what is going on. There should be something like an alert system, So when we have put a lot of things in place, there should be an alert system, and the reports we have from different from the farmers to from the ADPs, and they're getting to the alert center there at the Federal Ministry in Abuja. So there should be, all this information should be the central place where all this information to be, collated and, and the data to be worked on, So that's why when talking about this energy, all these agencies should have that the cooperative in terms of the flow of data, the flow of information, amidst them, And this is a thing that we have to combat. You understand? So basically, that's when we talk about the issue of energy is very, very important at this stage.
But I did come across a debate, around what could be the short-term solutions, and most farmers were pointing in the direction of using biopesticides. Is that a good alternative or a good solution, at least for the short term?
Well, I think that it's a very, very good one, because most of these pest control chemicals, we found out that most of them, talking about the application. Most of the farmers, many of them are trained on the use of these chemicals, during planting. Because if you go to a place like, most of the Western world, for most of us, they to be trained in the application of all these chemicals. Now, and some of these chemicals, some of them, so if you apply them so much, it has the adverse effect on the crop growth and production. So, using biopesticide, I think it's even the best way to go for now, because the adverse effect is not so much. No matter how whether you overuse them or at the early stage, that will be a separation of usage. Definitely, for about pesticide, the apex will be much as compared to the synthetic pesticide that we have all around. So I think I agree with you totally with that information of that debate that our pesticide is the best way to go for now. Not only to tomato, to other crops that we have around. And even talking about health issues, is something that is very paramount. That we ensure is that we looking at the food systems, the structure that we have now. So I think pesticide is the best way to go.
Abiodun Olaniyi there, who is an Agric Analyst, analyzing the current tomato infestation that is being witnessed around the nation. Thank you again for your insight on the program today.
It's a pleasure.
I will just point out that the conversation has been on the tomato Ebola that is currently plaguing areas within, tomato producing states. And as I speak, we have seen an increment in the price of tomato by over 130%. And the Minister of Agriculture, Abubakar Kyari, has come out to say that he is indeed aware of what is happening. And this is due to, an infestation across the nation, and this infestation is the tomato Ebola or tomato leaf miner. And like we did see in the post, that the social media post that we had put out there, Nigerians are opting for other options in the place of tomato. But interesting conversation there, and keep the conversation going. Share with us how much tomato currently goes for in the area that you are. Put the amount as well as your location, and keep the conversation going on social media. My name is Chiamaka Nendu. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.